This case study is a native mobile app called Hey Beauties, and it involves UX research, UI design, especially iOS design and Android design. This is a mobile app that is a skincare app. It's a beauty app that includes skincare, hair care, makeup, and body products. And while it may look like an e-commerce app, it is not an e-commerce app. It is for all ages and for men and for women. This project started because of my own skincare journey, with my own problems with my own skin, and I wanted a way that was easier for me and for other users to learn, share, educate others on beauty and skincare, hair care, any kind of self-care that includes the beauty industry. It was really started because of this one beauty company whose principal value I really liked, and they said that skincare purchases should be based on education and not impulse. And so this was my way of making sure users had a platform where they can base their purchases on what they've learned and seen on this app and not just impulse shopping. And for that, I made sure some of the features that would help them out was the community feature, where the users can share, review, put up pictures, comment on other people's stories and their skincare journeys, and basically just learn more about any problems they're having, any problems somebody else is having, about different products, different brands, and finding better ways to help themselves by reading what other people are going through. The other feature was a diary feature where the users have the ability to log their daily changes for their skin or their hair. They can choose any duration they want, from weekly to monthly, 6 months, but they would have data that they would be able to go back on and see what changes came through based on what they were using. The other feature that would help them is the profile feature, where they can put in any allergens if they're aware of for their skin in it. For example, if I know I'm allergic to maybe orange or anything, so any product that maybe uses orange fragrance or orange citrus, anything that when I click on a product like that, my profile would catch that, and I would get an alert, like a pop-up window that would let me know that this is not something I should be looking at, because according to my profile, it includes an ingredient that I said I do not want. So based on some of the features that I really wanted to include in this, I went ahead and I made user flows that would help me kind of organize to know what screens I would need. So the first one would obviously just be logging in, browsing, and opening up a product page. The other was the diary feature, where they were able to open up the daily day, and then would be able to go and edit each day. The third one would be the profile feature, where they can go and input any of their details that they know of and set alarms. And the fourth one was the community feature. And this is the full diagram that includes all of those main features, and of how they would be able to navigate through each. Now this is a native app, so it can only be entered through a mobile, iOS, or Android device. It is not a web-based app. After that, I went and started researching if any of the other skincare apps that are out there, and the three that I really liked were the Good Face Project, Think Dirty, and Cherry. And I picked up some of the things from them that I really liked and thought that would work well for my users, especially if you look at the third screen where they have the count of water intake the user has. I thought that was a really cool thing to include in mind, so users can keep track of what they're eating and drinking, as water is known to help in their skincare journeys. They can be able to keep count of how many glasses they eat, they drink. And also the fourth screen, which has a graph And I thought that was also another good thing for users to look at when they're using the diary. They'll be able to see their progress or no progress, whatever data they're putting in, but they're able to see a visual graph of what their goals are looking like based on the duration they picked to look at. So once I decided everything that I wanted and the screens and the flows, I started making my wireframes. So these are some of my mid-fidelity wireframes that I went after my low, and I organized these screens based on the primary screen, secondary screen, and the edit screens based on the user flows that I created. This would help me also let me know if I'm missing any screens, if users are able to complete all the tasks that are here based on these screens or not. This was also the time when I started thinking about iOS design standards and Android design. And so I went ahead and started looking up their design kits to see what I can include or what I can customize. I went ahead and I kept with the native fonts. So for Apple, the San Francisco, for Android, Roboto, and I also started keeping some of the design elements they had, such as for the Apple, they had rounded shapes and solid fills, and I kept those. For Android, they were flat squares, but they also had a slight shadow like most of the Android design elements do. I also know that iOS is much more stricter in their guidelines than Android on their design guidelines, and so I could customize a little bit more on Android side. However, I did not want the apps to look different based on what device you use. So I decided to keep everything same on iOS and Android and only customize things that I can customize on both. After that, I started researching of the mobile gestures that would go into this. So these are the interactions that a user makes in order to transition from screen to screen, and I kept them the same for both. They were the one finger tap, the horizontal scroll, which this was mostly for the picture screen and the sliders in my app, the tap and hold, which was a really good thing to preview a product without clicking on it first, like some e-commerce websites do, and then the vertical scroll, which is something you always used in longer pages. Then once I started making the high fidelity wireframes, I made sure that the footers and headers obviously matched the design styles for each Android and iOS. For example, I can see here on the selfie screen, the header for Android is different than the iOS header. And this is based on their design kits that they have for free online, and any designer can obviously access those. And so I made sure that I went ahead and studied these to make sure each screen had the right appropriate header and footer that made sense for each user. And then some of the other elements like the pop-up window that differed from each other. As you can see, the Apple and the Android look different because they are the native style window pop-ups that they come in. So the Android is much more of a solid shape and a flat shape, and the Apple has a slight opacity that you can see the screen behind it, and the only way to cross out of it is to either click on one of the buttons. So this also included me making sure that the footers and headers were right. In this case, you cannot just exit the window without clicking on the buttons for either of them. So once I made sure that the elements made sense for each screen and each device, I started making all the screens that I had to do for this app. And so these are the screens that I started with. So the first one obviously would be the first user flow, which was once you sign in. It is the browsing screen where you can click on the category you want, then it takes you to the category page, and then if you click on one of the products, it takes you to the product page. Now the product page, it does have links to buy, but these are outside links, so you cannot make a purchase on this app. Like I said in the beginning, this is not an e-commerce app. This will take you to another website. In this case, the brand website or any other website like Amazon. And some of the other features like the diary feature where you can see what the day is looking like based on the location that you're in. If your location services is on for the app, then you can click into the daily log and edit it as you want, as you deem fit. And then this also has selfies you can put in, like you were seeing the selfie screen, um, the last PDF where the selfie screen was included. That's where this would come in handy. And then the last one was the profile and the community, where this is just simple. You just have to make sure you fill in your own information so you have better recommendations and better management of the products that you should use or you shouldn't use. Now, this is not a requirement to make a profile. You have to register and sign in, but it's not a requirement to make a full profile. However, the app will be more efficient for the user, more optimal usage for the user if the profile is filled in fully. And then the community is just a feature for them to share and reveal and comment on anybody else's story or write their own. And so this is my app called Hey Beauties. It is a beauty app for skincare, hair care, makeup, body products, and a beauty community which they can help each other and learn for their own self and own beauty goals, and be able to have a platform where they can learn how to make purchases based on what they know or what they want to learn or what they end up learning through this app.